Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Energy Meets the Divine. I'm your host for the next hour, or less than an hour, I think, actually. First, I wanted to talk about the energetic connections to diseases for several reasons. One is when I work with clients, even when a client tells me they already worked on that. For example, if I have someone who has a thyroid issue, and remember from previous podcasts that thyroid medication is the most prescribed medication in the United States. So we have a lot of people who refuse or don't know how to speak their truth. And truth is a very unique experience. It's not about not lying, at least for older souls. Older souls are not very good at lying. It's not easy for them. But this is about getting deep in your body and feeling your authentic emotions for yourself, not listening to your mind, but actually feeling your authentic emotions and speaking from that place. So I'm just going to go over each one of the chakras, maybe not in order because I started with the fifth, and describe the energetic connection behind it. So again, if I were in a session and I was working with a client who had thyroid issues and I would say, well, it's about you not speaking your truth. And if they said, oh, I already worked on that, I'm fine. I would say, great, I'm so happy for you that you worked on it, but we still have an issue here. So it's not resolved, not to the level that their body needs. And our bodies are super intelligent. So when people have chronic conditions in their body, it means that their body wants them to work even harder at getting to the authentic, energetic connection, the emotional vibration of the chakra that governs that part of the body. So I'll start at the bottom. The root chakra, or the first one, governs all the bones in the body, all the blood in the body, the bone marrow, all the ligaments and tendons and tissues from the hips on down, and the colon and the coccyx, of course, because that's bones. So that particular vortex is about feeling nurtured, loved, and safe. So when people have rheumatoid arthritis, they have any kind of bone cancer or some sort of hematology that's off because their bone marrow isn't producing the right cells or their cells aren't maturing. If people have chronic sciatica or if they've had problems with their colon, it's going to be because they don't feel safe and nurtured on earth. Now, there could be logical reasons why they don't feel safe and nurtured on earth, but regardless if it's logical or illogical, the perception is going to have to change and the person is going to have to create something in their life that allows them to feel safe on earth. So let's say, one's family is completely gone or someone didn't really like their family and they don't have a lot of people in their lives, then maybe it's the bunnies and the trees and the ocean that's your family. Maybe it's the heavens, spirit guides and angels. Maybe creation are your parents, which is truly your true parents anyway. But you have to get creative and you have to get into the feeling aspect of it so that it becomes real and authentic for that individual. And anything to do with the bones is about letting go. So people who have bone issues, regardless of where it is in the body, it means that they hold on to past experiences and they don't let them go. They don't release it. And that's what creates, strong health issues like rheumatoid arthritis or other, even low bone density is from not feeling safe and then holding on, not letting go. Kind of an interesting combination. The second chakra, which governs all reproductive organs, the bladder, the appendix, part of the small intestinal tract, of course, the lower back. That's about not feeling joy. So the second chakra is all about joy. When people have health issues in that part of their body, it means that they don't have enough or they don't have authentic joy in their body. And joy could not be more underrated. It's so important to have fun and play and be silly. However, you can do that for yourself. And I think there's many ways to do it So the underlying problem is the opposite of joy, which is typically fear, worry. The kidneys, which are also governed by this particular vortex, and the adrenal glands also need to have joy. So one of the things we have that's chronic on Earth is, adrenal fatigue. Not that that would be diagnosed with a medical doctor in modern medicine, which that medical doctors are part of modern medicine because it hasn't been around that long. Traditional medicine is really holistic, more about herbs and vitamins and indigenous beliefs and perceptions about medicine. That's what traditional medicine is. So fear, when it gets in the body, it can create lots of problems in these reproductive, beautiful organs. Women do have a tendency to repress anger in their reproductive organs, and men have a tendency to repress guilt. Now, guilt is a mind-made emotion. It is not authentic. Anger is an authentic emotion. And if you're having reproductive organ issues and you identify with a woman or female energy, please go ahead and throw some temper tantrums, because that's going to help heal anything that's going on in the second chakra area: bladder, kidneys, adrenals, reproductive organs. Yeah. The third chakra is like the big kahuna, because it not only governs the stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, spleen, it also governs all of your hormones, which are hugely important. They communicate to all the organs. And it also governs your lymphatic system. So it governs your immune system and the emotion that's connected with the third chakra, self-love. So if you're having any immune challenges or issues, I would check in. So like if I had a cold and it wasn't getting better, or I had some chronic condition that was staying in my body, I would work diligently at loving myself. I think humans need to work diligently at loving themselves every single day anyway. But if I had an autoimmune issue, that's what I would work on. So when I have a client, and lots of people who have autoimmune issues look for healers, because modern medicine, their way of healing autoimmune diseases only works for a very small percentage of people. I mean, luckily it works for some people. So in modern medicine, what they do is they repress the immune system, and they kind of think that if they repress it, when they kind of lift the foot off the pedal, so to speak, that the immune system's just going to kick back in. And it does for some people, but for the majority, it doesn't. So people who have autoimmune disorders seek holistic practitioners, healers, naturopathic doctors, acupuncturists, as they should, because we want to uplift and build their immune system, not repress it. And I just have never met a human being, except for brand new newborn babies, who know how to unconditionally love oneself. It's something I work at every single day. Yes, every single day I work at self-love. And it's an emotion. It's not a thought. It's an actual feeling, like loving the people in your life or your pets or parts of the world that are quite stunning and beautiful. And then the fourth vortex that's in the heart chakra, it is the heart chakra. This is kind of a tricky one, especially for old soul types. So the emotional component for the heart chakra is universal love. And universal love thinks everything's beautiful, even all the things based on human perception that are obviously not beautiful, like war and famine and crime. The universe looks down at Earth and just thinks that Earth is perfect, exactly the way it is, because death is not considered real. It's a limited perception that we have in the human realm, but it's not a real thing. Nothing really dies. So not being judgmental, not trying to be a problem solver, because what if nothing's problematic? You can be a creative solution seeker. It's kind of fun to find multiple ways to resolve something or to have creative solutions. It's a very different perception than problem solver. So to have the heart chakra, which is where healing comes from, to be at its highest vibrational state or as close as it can be, which will then help the heart chakra, breast tissue, lungs, all of the beautiful things in here. You have to practice seeing the beauty in all things. It's a practice. It's a practice because as humans, we are conditioned to believe at a young age that certain things are terrible. And I have my own ideas of what's terrible, which is very different than most of the human population. We have different perceptions, perhaps, but I even work at my own perceptions so that I'm not squelching the vibration and the energy in my heart chakra. Because if I do, it could potentially lead to disease. It doesn't mean that it will. I've seen people whose energy looked like tarry, gray, not even moving particles, and they didn't have a significant health issue. And as far as I know, they didn't create one. Just like some people can smoke their whole life and never get lung cancer. So just because a vortex isn't working at its highest level doesn't mean you're going to get a disease, but we want to stay healthy as much as possible. And more importantly, in my mind, because my body seems to stay predominantly healthy, is I want to elevate my consciousness. So if I have my chakras in alignment to the best of my ability and become curious about it and practice and try new ideas based on the authentic emotions that are nestled in each one of these vortexes, then I'm going to become more conscious. And that's what I want. I want to have a higher realm of awareness always. I don't care what other humans believe or whatnot. I would love to have the highest, form of consciousness that my being can possibly have. So that's why I strive to maintain an alignment between the emotional component of my chakras and, and myself. So the fifth vortex, as I said, is all about speaking your truth. Thyroid gland, mouth, teeth, and gums, cervical vertebrae, upper GI system, basically. And this vortex, as I've said before, is so incredibly powerful because it's connected to the fifth layer of the auric field, which is called one's life purpose. So everyone has natural gifts and talents, and they're deeply embedded, like they can never be removed from the fifth layer of your auric field. When we speak our truth, this is one way to describe it, we're granted access to that fifth layer of the auric field. And when we speak our truth, the fifth layer highlights and sends inspiration to us to have more awareness of our true selves. It's really quite remarkable and beautiful. The third eye, which sits in the brain, is about feeling emotionally relaxed and authentic with all of your multisensory abilities, like trusting them, believing in them, using them, speaking about them. It's really a normal part of life to be multisensory. Everyone is multisensory. Some people are multisensory for the public, but everyone is multisensory for themselves. And even as a professional psychic, I work every day at my own personal intuition, because that's, a little bit more challenging because we're emotionally connected to ourselves. When professional psychics read for a complete stranger, it's much easier because we're not emotionally connected to them. So feeling comfortable with your multisensory ability, wherever it is, and talking about it frankly. And even if other people don't understand or agree, that doesn't matter. I rarely care what other people think or believe. I think it's a waste of my time and energy, quite frankly. The seventh, I forgot to say, so the sixth chakra governs the brain, but it also governs all of your senses. So your eyes, your sense of smell, your hearing, minus taste, because that's more the fifth chakra. The seventh vortex on top of the head governs all of the neurological system. So part of the brain as well. And it governs all the skin on your body. So if you have skin issues, regardless of what they are, so eczema, psoriasis, acne, dry skin, thin skin, whatever the situation, and I don't mean emotionally, but I mean literally people who have thin skin, they don't have a lot of collagen. That is about one's relationship to God, creation, source, the universe. So people who have skin issues, no matter who they are, no matter how it is represented through their body, through their skin, it means that they are in an unalignment with creation. They are not in alignment, which I think is fascinating. Okay, so enough about that, except for one thing. Again, when I have a client who has a health issue and I tell them, because I tell everybody everything I hear, see, and feel when I'm working with them. If they say, I tell them, oh, it's your fifth chakra, you're not communicating your truth. And they say, oh, yes, I am. I've worked on that long time ago. I will tell them, I'm so grateful you worked on it. That's amazing. But I will also tell them that this would be resolved. It would be gone or significantly reduced. And I mean significantly if they were in fact, alignment. So just keep that in mind. And now I'm going to head to our voicemail messages. People leave messages for me on my website, energyintuitive.com. You also get a free self-hypnosis for doing so. So thank you so much. And I'm going to do my best to get through 10 today. And then I have to go off and do other things. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Marie. My name's Cara. I'm calling from Southern California. I was just calling because I've been having some issues with my gums, and I've actually seen a few specialists, a periodontist, a dermatologist, a head and neck, and nothing is really, haven't found anything regarding it. I wanted to see if you had any insight, if it's autoimmune or if it's something I'm eating. Anything would be greatly appreciated. Also, I want to see if you could provide me with a couple what ifs. Yeah, thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for holding space.
Thank you, Cara. So, fifth chakra governs the mouth, teeth, and gums. So, this is all fifth chakra related. It's about not speaking your truth. And what that means, Cara, is your truth is much deeper than what you're speaking. It's probably a lot more spiritual. It's for sure incredibly interesting. This is hormone related for you. What I don't know your age, but I would have your hormones checked. And if your doctor agrees, if tests come back that maybe the progesterone is low, I would consider some compounded progesterone liquid that you can buy actually online, but you would need your doctor to tell you how much to use, and rub it on your gums. This is to be really good for gum bleeding. But this is about not speaking your truth. And if, let's say your hormones are relatively good, let's say you get your blood results back and they're relatively good, I would take herbs to support your hormones because something's off or starting to go off. HPA Adapt is a really great herb remedy, has maca root and other things in it that starts to balance hormones. But you can, and if you're taking medications or if you have allergies, I always recommend everybody check with a health practitioner before they start taking new supplements. I think it's a really good idea. Okay, so what if I'm speaking my truth? And don't analyze or process what that means. That doesn't help at all. Never will help analyzing or processing. But just repeat that without thinking about what it means, and I'm sure everything will come together quickly. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Lindsay, and I live in Austin, Texas. And I'm calling to see if you can help me with my libido. It's been pretty
Oh.
low for a while, and I would like to enjoy that aspect of life more. So any guidance you could give me, that would be really wonderful. I'll say that I've taken your advice to get out of my head and live in my second chakra. And I think it's helped so very much in my day-to-day experience, and that it may have actually changed my menstrual cycle, which has just been neat to see that has affected me so much. And I'm learning what it is that brings me joy and going out and doing it and doing my best to listen, hear myself when I have negative thoughts and to be as loving to myself as possible. Anyway, I'm doing what I can, but I haven't seen much of a change in my libido. So if you could help me, I would so appreciate it. Thank you so much for what you do. Bye-bye.
You're very, very welcome. So certainly herbs to support your hormones, because the libido typically is about a drop or a shift in hormonal function. But you're most likely in a relationship. You may not be, but you most likely are. I would look at that relationship too, because sometimes women don't feel aroused when they're not actually comfortable with their partner anymore. If something's changed, that we're more complicated when it comes to orgasms and sex. Men are highly visual. They're not as complicated, which I wish women were more like that. We could have way more fun, right? But unfortunately, we're not. So I would look at your relationship if you're in one and start to have some honest conversations with your partner. And I would start to take some herbs to support your hormones. That's what I would recommend. And congratulations for having more fun and having joy, because that does help the second chakra, which does govern the reproductive organs. Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, Marie. My name is Mary. I am in Idaho, and my question is about my work. I have transitioned over to energy work, and it was going really well last year. I was still working in modern medicine, and then at the end of last year, I let go of my modern medicine job and committed fully to the energy practice. And for some reason, most of the clients just I don't know, I didn't drop off, but things got quiet. I wasn't getting as many bookings. A lot of people were canceling. I don't feel like I was doing anything different. So I just wonder if it's just the time of year, the season. But it definitely kind of got me in my head, got me worried about, am I doing the right thing? And maybe do I need to do more, to study more, or I'm not sure what the next step is. I've actually looked into getting a different modern medicine job part-time, or maybe working with some chiropractors. I'm just not really sure where to go and what to do. If you have any advice, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. I'm sorry that happened. And thank you for following your passion and your joy and trying something new. What most of humanity doesn't understand is that humans are afraid of their magnificence. They're really not afraid of being lonely, broke, or sick. Not really. Because we're like cockroaches. We can pretty much handle anything, but we're terrified of being in our magnificence and living our true passion and being in our joy. So I would highly recommend that you work on your self-worth and your self-love. I will be teaching a professional slash advanced form of energy healing, energy medicine on the Shift Network beginning in October. It's 20 weeks long. It's not up yet, but that could be of interest to you. But you're afraid of being seen and celebrated and for your gifts to grow. That's what you're afraid of. So I would have a beautiful conversation with yourself, which I did do this in the beginning of my practice, by the way. I would say, honey, you're amazing. I'm so proud of you. You're incredible. I love your multisensory ability. I love the way you move energy. I love the way that you authentically connect with others. I love how you help raise their vibration so significantly and how quickly their body heals because of your interaction with the divine and the multi-universe. Start having positive out loud early morning conversations with yourself. I think that will help enormously. Okay, thank you.
Hello, Marie. My name is Anna, and I'm from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. First of all, I want to say thank you for everything you do. I'm so grateful I found you just recently and have been following your work. And thank you for taking my question. I have many questions, but the most important thing in my life right now is my daughter and her struggle with addictions. She's 27, and as far as I'm aware, she has been using cannabis frequently since high school. But what troubles me more is her use of cocaine. From what I know, she has been using this dangerous drug for just over 6 years, and she's also been using opioids as well, but began the Suboxone therapy for just under 2 years. And as far as I'm aware, she is not using opioids again, other than sticking with the Suboxone therapy. Her truths are few and far between, and it has been a struggle believing her. She had been to a rehab program last summer, and honestly, I believe she was using shortly after finishing the program. She did not follow up with any meetings, group sessions, etc. This has impacted me spiritually, emotionally, to the point of being traumatized and vibrationally not in a good place. My question is, will she ever decide to clean up her life? What can I do to facilitate this from any perspective? Thank you.
Hello, Anna. I'm so sorry that's happening. I truly am. And I never heard of where you came from. Thunder? Struck, I said, it's a really cool name. I'm sorry that your child has an addiction issue. Addictions are hard. And it's marijuana today is so much stronger than when I was a kid. I mean, when we would get stoned, it didn't cause as much brain damage and it can be very temporary, but marijuana, even for some people, can create certain types of psychosis, and it can take many years for it to move out of the body, and once they eventually stop. But yeah, your daughter is very manipulative. She has had some damage to her brain. Again, it may not be permanent. I think you have to let go. I know that sounds terrible, but you've given her this impression that you will do whatever she needs, and I'm sure parents who have successfully been able to help their kids move away from addiction are going to disagree with what I say. And that's okay too, right? There's more than one way to potentially help someone. But when I look at your daughter, you're feeding her energetically all the time. I would pull back that energy because she doesn't have a bottom, which is kind of scary. When someone doesn't have a bottom, it means that, death could be their bottom. But could you let go? And I know this is going to sound really crazy what I'm about to say. And could you just honor her exactly the way she is, even if she never changes? Could you just sense her and see her and feel her as beautiful and perfect? And she's a soul. Try not to think of her as your daughter, because I think it gets you into this guilt and this responsibility perspective. Perhaps you could just think of her as a soul and just enjoy her and love her, even if you don't engage with her, because you may not see her very often because she's going to be out and about trying to live her life in this, manner that most of humanity doesn't respect or value, understandably so. But if we can change our perception about anything, that actually helps or could potentially help the situation to change. So if you could stop feeling guilty, stop feeling like you made a mistake, stop feeling that something's wrong, and just celebrate your daughter being who she is right now. And I know that's very counter logic. That's when we could see some change. And I think also then you would hear more of your intuition and in your awareness and your consciousness. There are some souls when they come to earth who have been very, very responsible in previous lifetimes. Maybe they were, like a judge, or they ran an orphanage. For many lifetimes, they just kept taking on these highly responsible roles, and they don't know how to not do that. And they're exhausted. They never learn how to play or have fun. Think of like the Pope. I mean, that's got to be one of the most boring jobs on the planet. I mean, seriously. I mean, terrible. So there are some souls that just can't stop overgiving. They can't stop over helping. And so they may choose to have a lifetime where they come into earth where they can't. They may be a paraplegic, and so they can't be a leader because perhaps they can't speak. They may become a drug addict so that they can't step into a responsible role. In other words, they want to just learn how to mess up or just make it about them. And drug addicts, it is a lot about them, right? Because they have to get drugs. So they're constantly thinking about themselves so that they can maintain their high. So if you feel that it's okay to try what I'm recommending and give it a go and see if perhaps there's some positive change, then that would be lovely. I'm very sorry, but think of her as a soul and imagine that her soul is doing exactly what it needs to do. We don't know what souls need. I mean, we can certainly figure it out if we meditate and get out of our head and connect to our higher selves. But most of humanity has no idea why a soul has come to earth and has had challenges or difficulties. But the soul never makes a mistake, ever. I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marie. This is Tracy calling from Paulsboro, Washington. You and I have met and interacted several years ago, and I wanted to let you know that I have recently left my partner. Yes, the one you told me to leave 7 years ago. I'm loyal to a fault, but I'm happy to say that I'm so excited about my new life, and I'm embracing everything the universe has in store for me, and I'm working a lot on my psychic abilities too, and have downloaded a couple of your courses. I have two questions for you. Who and what is the entity that speaks to me? Is it a guide or an angel? It's been with me since childhood, and I have a baby name for it, but I was wondering what's its real name? And secondly, what is going on with my right knee? Will I be able to regain my mobility? Thanks for everything that you do. Bye.
Thank you, Tracy. And I don't remember our session. I'm so sorry because it was so long ago. And I'm glad that you are in a better place about partnership for yourself. And people who are fiercely loyal to others do need to learn how to be fiercely loyal to themselves. So, congratulations. It is a spirit guide. They don't care what you call them. You know, what your spirit guide wants is for you to have an emotional connection to the word that you choose, or the word that you hear, or the word that you feel. So they don't care if you call them peanut butter or salt water. I mean, they really don't care. They just want to know that when you call their name, they're going to feel a vibration. Uh, so you can gain names through meditation. That's what I did. I have 3 spirit guides, and I got names through meditating. One of them is called Kozar. I, don't even know what that word means, but they just want this vibration to come through you. And I'm sure this baby name that you have is perfect. So you've had it for a long time, so that when you're talking to them, they will turn their heads to be fully present when they feel that energy. And your knee. So knees are about searching for something. The right knee is about personal power. So searching for your power, which that kind of tracks. Perhaps just start saying, what if I am incredibly powerful and I'm embracing my power with every breath I take? I think that'll be helpful. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. It's Gina from San Diego, California. I wanted your insight on my journey to health. I gained a lot of weight over the last few years, and I know part of it is hormonal and also energetic. I would get that hangry feeling and was eating more to balance my energy. I am starting to intermittent fast and eat whole healthy foods, as well as strength training and walking daily. My goal is to lose 40 pounds in the next 6 months. Any guidance you have for my health journey is appreciated. Also, I am 36 years old and single. I want to bring a great love into my life, and I know loving myself with this health plan will be an integral part of aligning to this great love. If you have any words of encouragement as to the life partner energy you see coming into my life, that would be so great. Thank you so much for all you do for your listeners. I love your podcast and have been listening for many years. Bye.
Thanks, Gina. And congratulations on changing your body to be in alignment of what you want. That's really great. So yes, you already said it, but we have to love our bodies exactly the way they are. They've been changing since the moment we were conceived, and they're going to continue to change. So I always ask myself and others, when are we going to love our bodies? Especially media gives us this really crazy, idea about when we can love our bodies, and it's not practical or healthy. So fall in love with as much about your body exactly the way it is right now, and also start to love your single life. I think of people who are single who would like to be in some sort of partnership, and I recommend an earth mate, because we are an earth form. So we want to have people that we can have fun with on earth. I mean, that's critical. We want to play here and have fun. Is to love being single, to enjoy it, to have fun with it, like authentically. Really, really, really find things to love. I was in a class last week as a student, and there was a few single people in the class. They were all lovely, by the way. But I had this really fun thought, like, oh, all the single people are really cool. They're really interesting. All the married people are too, but it was this lovely thought, like, oh, being single is so cool. So that's what I would work on. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Hi Mary, this is Athira from India, but I'm currently in Sweden. Ever since I discovered about energy and energy healing, I've used it to clear some of my blocks, and I really manifested my baby. And ever since, I wanted to teach other women, expecting mothers, mothers who are trying to have a baby, help them clear their blocks. And I know this path will bring me great joy. But my whole life, I've had this high anxiety. I've had deep fears, shame, and guilt, and they're so intense that it's been blocking my true potential, my my health, my wealth, and I've had a good life, so I'm not really sure why these emotions are so intense, and I can't help but think they're from a past life or lives. I would be eternally grateful if you can do a reading and let me know if this is a past life influence and what are my guides thinking about this new path that I chose. Thank you so much, Maddie.
You're very welcome, Athira, if I said your name correctly. I hope I did. This has nothing to do with a past life. This is your mind. You're not managing your mind, you're allowing it to take over. The majority of anxiety is from analyzing and processing. The brain was only created to solve things logically, like getting to the airport on time, waking up at the right time, eating the healthy food, making sure that we wear the right clothing for the temperature. So this anxiety that you're talking about is from you overthinking, analyzing, and processing. I would highly recommend that you learn to rest in the lower half of your body. Do not listen to your mind. Only listen to it when it's giving you logical solutions. I believe in ignoring the brain. It's where the ego resides, and the ego is drenched in fear. So fear, anxiety, depression for the majority of the population is only because humanity has refused to use their brain correctly. It is only created for logical tools. That's it. Logic. That's it. Not processing. Processing and analyzing through the brain is not logic. It's this weird conundrum of thoughts that have zero to do with logic. So that's your homework. And I think your idea is great. Women who have infertility issues, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it could have to do with their unhealthy or unhappy relationships with their own mother. So that might be helpful for you. So no, I love your idea. Please stop thinking and don't listen to your thoughts. Intuition is 1,000 times more accurate than the logical mind. And intuition is calm. It's compassionate. It's a little surprising. Yeah, it's a little surprising. Okay. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Hi, Marie. Thank you for the work that you do. My name is Melinda. I'm calling from the state of Pennsylvania, and I too am a nurse of many decades. I've embraced natural health with modern medicine, and natural health has made a difference for me and my family. I love how supportive it is of healing, as are the healing arts. I'd like to have a general energy reading today if possible. I'm looking to know if there's any blocks or leaks. In all of the work I've done through the years, I've had energy healing many times, chiropractic. I have a naturopath, a doctor of naturopathy as well. I find a lot of joy and contentment in my life, and this is a very good time for me. But I just want to make sure there aren't any blocks or leaks. I am writing a good bit, and I am moving in the direction of writing a book. So if there's anything that we could clear or anything encouraging you might want to share from the perspective of my guides, I would appreciate that. And I'd also like to draw into my life a meaningful and long-term relationship. I've really shifted in my relationship with myself and with others. And this is a really good time in my life. I'm practicing self-love, self-forgiveness.
Okay.
I find joy and inspiration in many aspects of my life and my day-to-day, and a lot of healing has taken place. I welcome your thoughts, the movement of energy, and your perspective. Again, thank you for all that you do for us.
You're very welcome, Melinda, and thank you so much for everything you do and will continue to do. I wish you great luck in your writing. Your auric field looks excellent. So the aura is the larger landscape or real estate of our energy system. It's humongous. It's supposed to extend 3 city blocks in every direction, all around us, above us, below us. And yours looks excellent. It's divided beautifully, has good colors. I'd like for the colors to get a little richer, but beautiful. You do have a leak in the first and the second. And leaks really come from just not taking in enough energy. Because when people take in enough universal life force energy and consistently, then if we have a leak or some sort of interesting challenge, that gets reversed. It's like energy knows how to heal energy, right? It's part of it. It knows how to do it. So taking up more energy from there, feeling safe here, feeling cherished here, feeling loved, and then not doing too much for others. That's because I see a little bit of a leak through the back of the second. Just don't do too much for others. Keep doing and consistently thinking about your own needs. You know how to naturally care for others. That's just a natural thing for you. I hope that's helpful. And enjoy being single. And at the same time, feel that you have a partner in your life. Not how it happened, not when it's going to happen, but you want to consistently have those two, at least for you, those two emotions going on. All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marie. My name is Shelley. I live in Clatskanie, Oregon. I have all the clairs, psychic ability, and I'm highly empathic. I grew up in a family, though, that saw all that as weird and different, so I never felt comfortable sharing or talking about it, or even showing that side of myself. I actually grew up thinking something was wrong with me and lived my life according to what others wanted and expected. That was just my path, and I lived in survival mode for a very long time. I've been on a healing journey and am embracing my authenticity and gifts, although I've always had the gifts and they've just kind of always been there. So, but it's been extremely lonely. But I am truly grateful for everything and for the journey that got me to where I am today. I have 3 boys, and they all have the abilities, so they connect and share at varying levels. My youngest is the one that talks about it the most with me, and I love it. I'd also like to say I do love my family very much. I guess my question, if it's a question, is about meditation. I struggle to get a routine practice going. I've always tried, but there's been a couple of things that have happened early on that have made it a little bit harder. So the first time I heard a loud crying wail just out of nowhere. I didn't clamp down and stop it. I just stayed with it. And it was an elderly man. He had just found his wife had passed in the night. It did scare me. That was years ago. And it did scare me. And I think that's when I stopped meditating or trying. Recently, though, I had another experience of a teenage boy who had drowned. And it felt like I was there to witness or maybe be with him. And his spirit left his body. I felt like I guess I feel like I'm eavesdropping or interfering. I don't know, but I don't know that I'd be there if I wasn't supposed to be. I just don't know what it's called. Anyway, I can see, hear, and feel spirits and ghosts, walking around. Not all the time. I live, in this 3D world. I'd rather be barefoot skipping around in a forest, talking to trees and animals. Anyway, I don't know what it means. I've tried to Google it, which is funny because I don't even know what words to put in there, as you can imagine. Anyway, there's so many things. I just really wanted to connect with you and let you know that I appreciate you. As this being your way of giving back, I think it's really incredible that you're doing it. And for being authentic, it's great to see authentic people. It helps me have the courage to shine mine. Thank you.
You're welcome, Shelley. And those experiences sound really cool and interesting to me. If you raise your vibration, it'll be a lot more fun. It'll be more interesting so that you don't have these what could be scary moments. And meditation doesn't have to look the same for everyone. You could simply sit in a yin yoga position or, shift it out every couple minutes. That could be your form of meditation, listening to white noise with your eyes closed, going on a walk. It doesn't have to look like everyone's picture. It just means you don't know how to quiet your mind, which when the mind is going on a lot, that's a low vibrational frequency. And then you don't get to really enjoy, especially when you have all the clairs, just the constant love and devotion that the universe has for everyone, for all of humanity. And when you have clairs and you lift your frequency and your vibration, you can feel it, you can see it. It's a part of your life. It's really quite delicious, and you deserve to have it. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't say you're sneaking in, but obviously your energy bleeds, and this is not a bad thing. I'm just using that word as an example. It bleeds into different realities. Well, what realities do you want to be a part of? Like for example, occasionally, people ask me about crimes that their family members have experienced when I do mediumship work, but it's not what makes me happy. So I make sure my energy is really elevated so that I can have different types of experiences with the multisensory world. Now, if someone loved to solve crimes, which I think like DeVoe, I'm forgetting her first name, Allison DeVoe, who is from Arizona and used to work with the DA there. I don't think she does it, at least not professionally like she used to. She could. I don't know her personally or anything like that, but it was a high vibrational experience for her for a long time. So get your energy up, and then you can find out what experiences that you're meant to be contributing to and having in your life. Get your energy up. That means don't think negatively. Don't think about the past. Don't go into victim consciousness. Learn to be present where everything is perfect and everything happens in the nothingness, which is the present moment as well. I hope that's helpful.
Hey Marie, this is Raimi. I am calling from Minnesota. I love your show. Thank you so much for all that you do. The reason I'm calling is I have been having some lower back issues, and they're just not quite getting better. Well, they're off and on. So I'm hoping that you might have some insight or some wisdom. Also, I've got some little bit of hair loss going on. So I'm hoping you would be able to provide some insight, because I'm sure there's something spiritual as well as physical. But as always, love your work and hope to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Raimi. Love the Minnesota accent. Minnesota people are so nice. They're just really kind people. At least that's been my experience. So, hair, hormones, but it's also about your connection to creation. Do you feel creation loving you? Because that's not something that doesn't happen to every single person. Every single person is unconditionally adored and loved and cherished by the divine. How often do you feel that? How often do you allow that into your experience? That could help with your hair and have your hormones checked. And then you said lower back pain. You do have like this interesting, I would call it almost chronic. When I look at your lower back, it looks like there's this horizontal slit, if you will, but it's literally like a rectangle, well formed, like a long rectangle, maybe half an inch in width and maybe 3 inches in length. And there's just this consistent kind of steady flow of some of your life force coming out. When energy is not being poured into our body, or when we're leaking it from certain spots, those are the areas that are weak for us, right? So you have a weakness in your lower back. That's why it's hard for it to get healed or to stay healed. And it's because you overgive, you over nurture, you over take care of people. You have to stop that. There's a whole bunch of souls on earth, younger souls, who wanted to come to earth to learn compassion. Older souls came here to learn self-compassion. Those are two different things. Old souls know how to be compassionate. It's just a natural part of themselves. And so you need to say no so that there's more opportunities for younger souls to go and learn what they want to learn in this lifetime. You go sit in receiving 101 so that a young soul can sit in giving one-on-one class, and we can all learn what we hope to learn when we came here. I hope that's helpful. Okay. Last one for today, because I have other things I have to do.
Hi, Marie. Thank you. I have been having trouble my whole life releasing my solar plexus. I had a challenging childhood with my father, and I clamped it down. And now I'm 66 and not able to release it. I find myself holding it unconsciously all the time. And I feel like I can't really meditate or access the psychic realms with a clogged solar plexus. Um, my beloved died recently, well, 4 years ago, and I know he's trying to reach me, but I feel like I can't be reached because of this. Is there anything you can do? It's an automatic unconscious clenching I do all the time. Can you help me? Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry about your partner passing. I don't see this clenched solar plexus that you're talking about. So the solar plexus is, above the belly button, in between the rib cage. I do see your second chakra and actually the entire pelvic region, including the iliac crest, so your hips, all around your hips. That I see is clenched, and that's not too uncommon. Some people never want to make mistakes, and they always want to do everything right, so they tend to contract the second chakra area. Your partner will communicate. All beings on the other side will communicate to us, whether we are aware of it or not. So it doesn't matter what's clenched or not clenched, or if something's open or not. All of the cosmos and the universe communicates to all of humanity all day long, no matter what. So that's happening, right? I think this is just something you got into your brain, because I used to contract my second chakra. I still can, but I have full access to my psychic ability. So I don't, or, a fairly good access to it. I don't think that's an issue. What if you were to let go of that? What if you were to let go of that and visualized energy coming in through the top of your head and allowed yourself to feel your connection to the divine? Here's your what if question. What if I am capable of feeling and recognizing the universe, and I allow myself to have multiple relationships and conversations with beings, including my higher self, that live outside of Earth? That's what I want you to do. Get rid of this whole idea about clenching something. I don't think that's the issue personally. I think you just need to let go, and so that your vibration can heighten and really expand to the heavens, so that you can hear what's being spoken to you, what's being communicated to you, so you can feel it, so you can sense it in some way, and allow yourself to be altered positively by this beautiful connection to the multisensory world, which you are a part of and you always will be. I hope that helps, everybody. Thank you for leaving your questions. I truly, truly appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.